It's a very tough video to get through without devolving into politically incorrect avenues of exploration, which are the most interesting avenues to explore. Click the links for Odyssey, Bit Chute, join the subscribe star. If there's going to be videos, that's why I'm going to put videos that are against the terms of services for these other platforms, or support channel with various other links. And if you support on other links like coffee and stuff, then I'll give you a pass to subscribe star. You don't have to literally support on subscribe star. Or Discord and Telegram. There are some SJW trolls that occasionally go to Discord to try to get us to say horrific things. Knock yourself out. Treat them however you want to treat them. So this guy seems like a little bit of a pain in the ass. No pun intended. Seems like he's got a chip on his shoulder in every interview I've seen with him. He's talking about Mark Marone, which I did a video on earlier. That guy is an idiot too. He is the guy who was offended when he's talking about politically incorrect comedy. He did his own thing where suddenly some things were not funny to him anymore. Like, everything's funny as long as it's white man bad, but as soon as you look at him and his tribe, it's like, oh, well, that's off limits. Well, either it's all okay or none of it's okay. It's like, oh, no, it's just some of it's okay sometimes for some of the people. Why, Mark? Why would that be okay? Why would anyone accept that? He's a worm. You can see him. He's got a YouTube channel. He does this interview, and he just seems like something you'd find under a rock. So he's angry about Snow White and the 7 vertically challenged people, which is, literally called Snow White, skin so fair type of thing. And he's not angry at her so much. This is the Snow Fair. You can only say colors so often on YouTube before they demonetize the video, because they think colors are hot words, and there's a bunch of other hot words on YouTube. YouTube is so freaking lame. I just can't wait until more people get onto Odyssey and various other platforms. Anyway, so he's upset about folklore. Fair point. Vertically challenged people, if you remember that group, it's going to be, I don't know, maybe you're a little sensitive about it. It's like, it's just a story. It's just not that big a deal. I would think it's a story called Snow White. The more important issue would be, it's kind of a Northern European story of very fair people, and you swapped it out with someone from the Mediterranean who's does not, literally the name of the show is Snow White, and you swapped her out with this girl who's, I don't know what she is. He called her Latina, which I guess he forgot it's Latin X, which is, it's just cringe. Like, the left is cringe on top of cringe, and they don't really get it because they're in this bizarre echo chamber where this South Park lampoons them so perfectly. Just driving around in their Teslas, going to watch like Hannah Gatsby on stage, talking about just the most horrific things. None of it's funny, but they just applaud like trained seals. Hey, we paid for Hannah Gatsby, and we're driving our Teslas to go see her in San Francisco, and then we're going to go home and park, and our Teslas are going to get broken into. And when the San Francisco liberal wakes up, then I know things will have finally started. The pendulum will have finally started to shift. Will the San Francisco liberal wake up? I don't think so. I think they're kind of happy. Like, the cars and their houses can get broken into every night for years before they finally wake up and say something. I just don't see that happening. This is going to sound weird, but he plays the role of a little person really well. So he's a little person. Yeah, but he's a really well put together. Like, he's got very distinct, craggy, kind of sharp features, really angular face. And he looks like he should be in Greece like 2,000 years ago. I don't know, doing some Archimedes, calculating the volumes of spheres and type of things, how much water it displaces. It looked like he should be doing that kind of stuff, figuring out how to integrate a circle, and then when the soldier comes up and asks him what he's doing, gets stabbed. He fits the role really well, is what I'm trying to say. It's like a short person plays a short person very well. So he's upset about mythology and, folklore and this kind of such. It's part of folklore. If you want to start tearing apart pieces of the fabric, what are you left with? You're left with garbage. And this is also part of Bolshevism, is you push Bolshevism to push diversity, because diversity is conflict and strife. You redrew the borders on this map, and now the people aren't getting along. So wait, are you saying diversity isn't a strength? Angry NPC face. The thing is, the goal is to destroy the past so that you can enslave people, so that they don't know anything is worth fighting for. If you go look for those LA videos of the 40s, they're on YouTube. People in the comment section are so triggered by those videos, they start you can read the comments yourself. It's like certain people are very upset about those videos, so they try to say, "Oh no, it actually wasn't as nice as you can clearly see on your videos." L.A. in the 40s was like a first world city, and you look at it now, I'm like, oh my god, what happened? Well, I know what happened, but it's not a video for YouTube. Anyway, so history and mythology is very important to preserve, and it's lessons that we seem to forgot because we're in this sway of cultural Marxism right now, tearing down statues and icons, rip apart the cultural fabric to turn a nation into nothing more than a commercial zone controlled by big tech, bankers, and the media, tearing down a piece of history and replacing it with a McDonald's. That's sort of a weird flex. They do this in like Oregon and well, they're doing it everywhere, but like you're replacing it with garbage. You replace it with just a McDonald's where a robot takes your order and there's like two people working there because the minimum wage is, $22 an hour. So you had to fire most of the workforce. It's, America is kind of like, if you don't stop cultural Bolshevism in its tracks with a flamethrower, you get what you get. You get it's like termites tearing down a structure. So you got to fight them, or you're gonna have to burn the whole thing down and start over again. Anyway, you got low IQ people who do low IQ things. They cover their faces and they go and cause havoc. It's like sweet dopamine that my single mother never gave me. Tear down statues, destroy museums, and burn the history books. Because if you control the past, you control the future. And I know this Peter Dinklage story is doing some heavy lifting, but the thing is, all this stuff, this cultural Marxism, it's all related. You're seeing it in pop culture now, and that's why pop culture is so garbage. Crap. You're not going to see all the fun movies of the past are gone forever. You're never going to get an old school or any of those type of fun movies. Just fun, stupid movies. A 1977 Star Wars. Yeah, it's gone forever. You're never going to get that again. The blonde Mark Hamill leading the way. Yeah, that's gone. You'll never see that character ever again. Ever again. It's kind of weird when you consider that. Unless there's a civil war, and then you can kind of recreate Hollywood. But for the foreseeable future, Hollywood is kind of painted itself into this weird corner where the biggest hit is Spider-Man, that new Spider-Man. You look at Spider-Man, it's made $1 billion. Yeah, but they still swapped out all the characters except for the main character. It's like, oh, yeah, that's what we're willing to settle for these days. It's like, why would you want to settle for anything? Oh, so he says, what kind of comedy is off limits? This is interesting. This Mark Marone guy had an issue with the comedy. He was getting offended by people saying that because political correctness is manipulating comedy, you can't say anything. So he got really triggered by that, but he didn't give me examples. I always ask people who are getting arguments in the YouTube comment section with, I go, give me some examples of modern day comedians who are PC that you think are funny. And they go, just turn on your TV. No, I go, no, give me specific examples. And they never do. They just kind of try to buy out of the conversation as much as possible. With comedy, either it's all okay or none of it's okay. But this Mark Marone guy, he did the same thing that Sacha Baron Cohen did and Sarah Silverman did, where they've been comedians their whole lives for decades, and then all of a sudden people start poking fun at their protected groups, and it's not so funny anymore. Seeing them, like both Silverman and Cohen, give these speeches before the ADL about how some comedy is just off limits, like, do you people hear yourselves? You sound like crazy people. It's this weird Achilles heel. It's like a lack of self-awareness when people get so much money. They start, it's like you got so much money because the system is built to put you forward. And now you think like people are just going to accept your ideas without any critical thinking. It's a bizarre echo chamber of the wealthy Hollywood types. Anyway, so Snow White triggers him, and the cultural Bolsheviks swapped out the Northern European character for the, I guess, more Mediterranean, because they're Bolsheviks. That's what they do. Their goal all along is to destroy. They're ticks and leeches and like just lice and fleas and vermin parasites. They cannot create anything that they create that is obviously a left-wing globalist creation. You know it from the start, and people avoid it like, oh, this is going to be insanely, like they made a movie called this was a couple of years ago, they made a movie called Cuck about the far right or something, and people are looking at these people who make the movie and like, you guys are the cucks. You're the people No, this is the far right. These are how blonde-haired, blue-eyed people really behave. They're just on their computers. Like, no, that's you guys. You could just make a movie like, look in the mirror. They do stuff like that where the self-awareness is so freaking low. So the ethnicity swap for the Northern European character for the Southern one in Snow White, that didn't bother him because he's only caring for his protected class. That's not a red pill. People in the comments are going like, "Oh, he's almost taking the red pill." No, he's as deluded as all of them. The thing is, at some point, you just got to tell people that they're dumb, or at the very least, you got to say they have bad ideas. But in modern year, if someone is a purse puppy, if they're on that purse puppy hierarchy, you can't tell them they have bad ideas because they'll go to social media and they'll dox you and destroy you, and they'll like the Fisher guy who played Cyborg. It's what he's doing. It's like, I don't know if his point is valid or not, but he's just calling people racist. It's like, well, nowadays in current year, that's enough to get, not exactly, you can destroy some careers depending on how big you are, but it's a lot of negative attention. It's like, it's just a witch trial. You're not providing any facts or evidence. You're just accusing somebody, and the accusation is the conclusion in social media, because social media is made up of a lot of very low IQ people who have access to high IQ technology that other people created for them. So they're kind of like I won't say what kind of animal they're like. But I mean, they're like, animals. They're like children, I'll say, playing with technology that they don't really understand and just burning down careers and people's lives. But they don't ever stop to consider like, oh, where does this all lead? Oh, it kind of leads to Brazil, America. Where's I going with this? I don't know. The thing is with purse puppies on a hierarchy is like not being able to tell people they have bad ideas. So what does that mean? It means you get a lot of bad ideas that are getting advanced simply because they're a POC, BLT. They're somewhere on the purse puppy hierarchy. So who doesn't have that protection? The blonde-haired, blue-eyed people of the light, they don't have that protection. So what happens with their ideas? Their ideas get challenged and they get better. So they become more interesting people, more intelligent people. They write better stories. They create better characters. And even in characters where you have I'll say a fair and a dark character, the fair character is going to be the more interesting character because it's going to have more challenges to overcome, because that's the concept of Mary Sue's, is you have essentially a dark character or a protected class character, so they can do no wrong. They can never fail and then overcome that failure. It's just success after success. Now, kids are into this. So if you're making a kid's movie or story, below a certain age, below 10 or something, a kid's going to be into a superhero who has no failures, essentially, or very light things to overcome. But as soon as you get a little bit into the adult area, you've got characters like this go, oh, it's a Mary Sue, like the modern Star Wars. You compare it to the original Star Wars, and it doesn't compare at all, because the Mary Sue character, she was like a space god, essentially. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I don't know if I've made this video a few times, and it's like some videos I just can't do for YouTube because they involve so many politically incorrect areas that they're just impossible to make. There's a censorship on YouTube. It's the censorship and then the monetization issue. And it's like the monetization, a couple bucks on a video is not important. It's that I think they punish you in the algorithm if the video is not monetized. That's why I try to get them. That's why I've even bothered. Because if the channel wasn't monetized for the first year, I didn't even bother. But then I heard about the algorithm thing. So I thought, okay, I'll get it monetized and it'll help in the algorithm. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys all next episode.